Just wanted to do a really quick video, give some information on my truck, and discuss something that seems to be a somewhat hot topic on the internet these days, and just go over a few details. So I drive a 2007 Ford Super Duty, and it's a gas engine, a V10 with a 6-speed manual transmission. And I get asked quite often, why did I choose the gas engine over the diesel engine? And there's a couple reasons for it. First and foremost, I didn't want a new truck. If I was buying a new truck, I would have probably went ahead and bought a diesel engine. But I didn't want a new truck for my specific purpose, using it just to pull my camper around and to pull farm equipment. Really didn't need a new truck. Didn't want to spend $70,000 on a new truck. So I bought a used 2007 Ford Super Duty. And the trailers I pull are all bumper pull type trailers. I got a 26-foot equipment trailer that I haul my tractor on, and I got a 31-foot travel trailer, and I've got a 22-foot enclosed trailer. And for the most part, my weight runs 10,000 pounds or less, typically on any of those trailers at any given time. And I found that when I was shopping for a used truck, all of the diesels that I found, maybe it was just bad luck, but it seemed like they had been really worked very hard and had a lot of miles on them, or they had tuners on them and you could tell they had been abused. And I really didn't want to buy somebody else's headaches. And the problem with a used diesel truck is, at least in my opinion, and I've owned several diesel trucks, so I'm speaking from experience, once a warranty is over with and you have repairs, they can be quite costly. It's not uncommon for a used diesel engine to go into the shop and spend $1,500, $2,000, up to $4,000 for repairs for something that wasn't a major overhaul to begin with, just whether it be a turbocharger or injectors or what have you. So I figured that I would give the gas engine a try, and knowing that I would be well within the capabilities of the truck with what I tow. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I absolutely love it. Like I said, this truck has a 6-speed manual transmission, and with the V10, I actually have all the pulling power I need. I pull my travel trailer, which weighs upwards of 8,000 pounds, up through the mountains and all around, and I have no trouble maintaining speed. Even on a long 7% grade, I can typically do 60, 65 miles an hour all the way to the top. No issue whatsoever. Now, people say, well, surely you're burning a lot more gas. And, if you've got a diesel that's been deleted and tuned, I'm sure you're getting pretty good gas mileage or fuel mileage. But typically for these trucks straight from the factory with all the emission stuff on them and all, the diesel trucks, they're not getting much better than what I'm getting with this V10. This truck, before I put these big tires on it, I could average 14, 15 miles to the gallon on the interstate with the cruise control set. And pulling my trailer, I could get, 10, 9. If I got in some steep hills and pulling really hard, it might drop down to 8. But for the most part, that's not that much worse than what the diesel guys are getting, maybe a few miles per gallon. But, when you consider the initial investment of the diesel engine, how long would it take just with fuel mileage alone to recoup that cost? Well, to me, it just wasn't worth it. And I don't put that many miles on my truck anyway. So if I was pulling cross country, it wouldn't even be a question. I would have went with a diesel. But considering that it's mostly local stuff for me and occasional trips, out of state with my camper, but for the most part, it's all local. And I really, with the maintenance costs being much lower, I just decided to go with the gas engine. You need to mention that my truck has 410 axle ratios. It's got the 6-speed heavy-duty manual transmission and the 3-valve V10 6.8 liter. I think my motor puts out, I think it's about 360 horsepower and 450 foot-pound of torque or something like that. And you know, this video isn't discussed the design issues with the Triton engines. Obviously I know about the spark plug issues and all that, but I personally have not had any issues whatsoever yet with this truck, and I've had it for a few years now. But all in all, it runs good. I love how quiet it is. You know, a lot of times if I pull up somewhere and I leave the truck running for a few minutes, I have people say, "Is that thing even running?" And I mean, it's just so quiet, you know, compared to the diesel. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the diesel clatter myself sometimes, but you know, things like drive-through windows and stuff like that, the diesels can be a little bit of an issue. And I know the new 6.7s and newer Duramaxes and Cummins are fairly quiet, but they still can't compete with the gas engine as far as how quiet of a ride it is. So one thing that always comes up when you have the discussion between gas and diesel is longevity. And my thoughts on that are that true, some of the earlier diesels and maybe even some of the new ones that's yet to be proven, you know, may get 1 million miles on them, may get 500,000 miles on them. But with all the emission stuff that's on the new diesels, there's quite a few videos on YouTube of people with less than 200,000 miles having to tear into the newer diesels because they've got issues. And it was obviously related to the emission stuff, but regardless, if you only get 200,000 miles, you only get 200,000 miles for whatever reason. I guess my other thought on that is that really and truly, if I keep a truck for a couple 100,000 miles, I'm probably ready for a new truck anyway, regardless of if the engine's still good. And I have no doubt that the gas engine in this truck will easily hit 200,000 miles. It's got 150,000 on it now, and it doesn't burn a drop of oil and runs like a sewing machine. So I suspect it'll make the 200,000 mile mark no problem. Heck, I had a 460 Ford one time in a 93 F-250 that when I sold a truck, it had 350,000 miles on it. It was still going strong. That was a gas engine. So not all of them do that, but I think it's give and take how well you maintain them, and you know, so I really don't see that much of a difference between the gas and the diesel as far as the longevity concerned, at least not for me personally. Like I said, I probably won't keep it past a couple 100,000 miles under normal circumstances anyway. So that's just my thoughts on that. So thank you guys for watching my video. I hope I've given you something to think about on this. You know, like I said earlier, if I was buying a brand new truck, I probably would have bought a diesel, but buying a good used truck is tough when you're looking for a diesel engine. So I went with the gas engine, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and come back and see us again sometime.